Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my very first back to school video because it is that time of year. So this year I'm not going back to school. If you don't know, I just graduated university. I did a 4-year degree in a Bachelor of Commerce. Although I'm not going back to school this year, I do feel like because I went through that experience, I want to offer some tips and advice for you. So today's video is going to be how to get yourself organized to go back to school. My first tip is to organize your computer desktop. I don't know if it's just me, but I tend to drag a lot of files to my desktop, and before I know it, it gets a little bit out of control. So just take the time before you go back to school, or even in your first weeks if you've already started back, to just organize your desktop into neat folders so that you can find all your files when you need them. And also it just looks a lot cleaner when you're looking at it. Also, when going back to school, I like to change my desktop picture to something new because I just find the new change of scenery motivating, and I usually like to find either a calendar or an inspiring quote to set as my desktop background. Now that your desktop is organized, my second tip is to create a folder for each of the courses that you're enrolled in. I also like to color coordinate the folders so that I have a color associated with that, and if I have a notebook or a folder, like a physical folder for that class, then I'll usually try to match the color to that. So having a folder for each class is just where I'm going to dump all my documents for that class, just to keep things really organized. And the first thing that I will add to that folder is to download the syllabus for my course website and then keep that as a PDF in that folder. This just makes it really easy to access that syllabus whenever I need it, instead of going back to my course website and looking at it every time. If I have it on my desktop, it's a really easy way to access it. Tip number 3 is to back up your laptop and your phone or your iPad, whatever the devices that you're using, back them up to either the cloud or an external hard drive before going back to school. So this is just a helpful tip because this is something you should be doing all the time, but sometimes it just gets away from me and I don't back up my devices as often as I should. And with going back to school, you're taking your laptop to and from classes, so if it gets damaged or stolen, God forbid, in any way, you always have a backup of your files. My next tip is to get a planner or a calendar or some sort of digital calendar and organize yourself in a way that makes sense to you. So organize a system, whether it's a physical calendar or Google Calendar, whatever you choose to use, to get yourself organized and make it something that you'll stick to. This is something that I'm really passionate about, and if you would like to see a video on how I organize myself both in a physical planner but also digitally on my phone, let me know and I can do a whole video on that. Give it a thumbs up. My next tip is to take your course outlines, your course syllabus, and now your newfound organization system in your calendar or your planner, whatever it may be, and write down all the important due dates at the beginning of the school year so that you have them all marked in your calendar and you can plan your time accordingly for the entire school year. You'll know when all your assignments are due and your midterms and exams all in advance. Doing this at the beginning of the year not only allows you to be on top of all your dates, but it ensures that you will never miss a due date because you wrote them all down at the beginning of the school year. My next tip is to organize your study space at home. Whether you like studying in the library, at school, on campus, you're always going to need a study space at home where you live or in your dorm room. So just organize that space, allow yourself like a clean desktop with all the necessary tools that you're going to need, and have that be a cozy environment where you feel productive, and maybe eliminate all the clutter, anything that's going to distract you, just so that you always have a place where you can go and do your work and make it a motivating and inspiring place for you to get things done. My next tip is to set your school schedule as your phone background or lock screen. It always takes a few weeks to get used to your new schedule, knowing what times you have your classes or in what building they're in. Sometimes it's a bit confusing, so setting it as your lock screen or your background on your phone allows you to see it more often and it'll help you remember it. My next tip is to download or bookmark all the necessary tools that you're going to need on your computer. So you can actually download Microsoft 360 to your computer for free. If you go to their website, I will leave a link down below. All you have to do is enter in your school email address and they will send you the download there, and then you can just install it to your computer. It is 100% free for students. So a lot of people that I went to school with didn't know this, and I was telling people like in their 4th year, I'm like, you could have been using these tools this whole time, but just making sure that you have all the necessary tools at your fingertip before the school year starts, just so that you're ready and you're not lost without them. Another thing is to bookmark some of the frequently used websites that you'll need, just so that they're always at your fingertips. So for me, I have bookmarked my course website. I had the website there, you would need to book study rooms for like group projects and stuff. I would have that bookmarked. Thesaurus, that's a website that I found that I was using a lot. So just stuff like that, if you find that you're using it all the time, bookmark it, save yourself some time so it's an easy access website for you. So my 9th tip is to set your alarms on your phone in advance. So whether you wake up at the same time every single day, you can set it that way as well, or you can set it to a different time every single day. Whatever works for you, you can pre-program this so that you don't forget to set your alarm the night before. You can just set it so that every Monday it'll go off at 9 a.m. or every Tuesday it'll go off at 8 a.m. Whatever works for you and your schedule, you can customize it in advance. Then finally, last but not least, my 10th tip is to use Google Docs. Google Docs is not only a great way to collaborate with other people, like for group projects and stuff like that. That was one way that I used it, but I also liked using Google Docs for just my own papers because no matter what computer I'm on, I can access this document just through my Gmail, or it acts as a backup for your files so that if your computer crashes or something happens to your computer, you will always have a backup on your Gmail. This goes not only for Google Docs, but Google Slides, Google Sheets, any of those tools. Google Drive in itself is a great resource for collaborating, but also having a backup of your own files. And you can even get the apps for your phone. So if you have a long commute like I did in university, you can be working on your schoolwork on your phone. So that's about it for my tips and advice on how to get organized for back to school. I hope this sets you up for a very productive and wonderful school year. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you have any other requests for back to school videos that I can do for you, please leave them in a comment below because I would love to hear your suggestions, and I honestly want to create videos that would be helpful to you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!